What up, YouTube muscly folks? Man, I took a nap earlier and done ruined all my gains. Today's bench press day. I've been awake like 45 minutes from a nap when I went in here to hit this particular session. Heavy set today's 195. I've been dieting for like 4 or 5 weeks, so I'm hella weak. I got 5 reps and they were struggling. That is not a great number for me at 195 in my opinion. But, you know, you lose reps when you are on a diet. That is the way the world works. I've raised my calories to 3050. So I'm not really as bad off, though. I've been doing, like, you know, kind of an unknown amount of playing of basketball and this kind of stuff that is making, on some days my Fitbit's telling me I've burnt 40, 100 calories or whatever. So I'm not sure what kind of deficits I'm running at 3050. Probably on some days a really strong one, and some days a sort of strong one, and probably on complete days off exercise, it's a slight bulk, which is actually an awesome pace at which to diet, which is one cool thing about reverse dieting, is you'll have a point where you're like completely dieting and starving half to death, seems like, and then you'll start raising your calories, and then you'll have days where, you know, maybe you get a little relief 1 or 2 days out of the week, but you don't get them, you know, any more than that. And then you go up another 100, and maybe you got, you know, less of a deficit on the bad days and more relief on the day off type thing. And then, you know, as it raises up. Now, this is bearing in mind that I do a flat calorie level for the week, no matter what, whether I'm working out or not. So that kind of gives me a consistency that I can use as a measuring process because I work out 4 or 5 days a week. So, considering that my training just kind of goes on, and my food just sort of rises and lowers over time, so that's kind of like how I do it in order to stay lean and mean and put on the muscles, at least a little bit, you know, like I'm not juicing up. I'm trying to reach that maximum lean body mass that's possible by a natural, under ideal conditions, based on my genetics, and so, you know, gaining a whole bunch of body fat at 37, it's going to be hard to get off. It's not on the plan. Thus, got to do a little bit of a shred. But I'm rising out of it, and it feels, you know, good enough on a day off to where I feel like I recover a little bit more. I'm not feeling as tweaked up. Because you get really tweaked up when you're dieting and lifting weights. You don't really have enough food to recover anything. So all your little tweaks get louder and more annoying as it goes on and until you get more food. But the that said, not having the tweaks has not made me much stronger. I mean, I really feel weak. I remember picking up that 195, and it just felt like a ton of weight. After the first rep, I was like, man, how many does I have to do? What weight is this, 195? This should be easier. You know, that was my first thought. Although it did feel a little bit easier once I was like the 3rd rep in, so maybe my form was screwing me up, making it feel heavier. But it did, it really felt so heavy. I remember not too long ago having some sessions where I was able to do like 200 reps for 200 for 7 reps on bench and stuff, like by myself with no spotter, with a safety rack, but still, like, you know, nobody there to like encourage or anything. It was like, I think it was actually an empty gym on a snow day or something not too long ago. But the point was, I was killing 200 for 7 reps, above reps, and then here I am with 195, and 5 reps is just beating it out. Like, I have to really work to get those 5 reps. So that's not encouraging. You know, that's one of the things about, though, when you're shredding up, that does kind of prove you're in a deficit, you know, is if you don't have the energy to work out, you know. And on a certain level, once you get into a surplus, you get to where you can really kill it. Also, when you have some a little bit more body fat, it kind of helps more. You have more contact points to your own self, so you can kind of carry more of your own power. But as you get kind of lean, there's not a whole lot that, you know, there's just pretty much whatever food you ate today and whatever's left of that, it uses energy. You don't really leave it a whole lot of fat to sit around and mess with. I see my left to right is definitely not balanced on my traps. That's something I've been trying to straighten out a little bit, but they are not the same size, even vaguely. And one like hangs higher than the other. I also noticed that one of my limbs is longer than the other in terms of my legs, so I'm not exactly the same height on each side. You know, which that may be one of them things you just can't really do anything about, and then therefore my traps have to adapt by being a little bit bigger on one side than the other. But it is really weird, and I try to minimize it to the extent possible. You know, but through doing a lot of double overhand deadlifting and stuff rather than doing the most powerful alternating grip that I could easily do. Just little things to try and make sure that I'm balancing it out. Also, like, I'm conscious when I'm bringing my groceries in to always use more of my other side, maybe my left hand, to help me try and balance out the amount of activity happening from right to left on my body. It's also important because I'm a trainer, so I'm always picking up plates up for clients. That stuff can actually add up. If you always use your dominant hand only, you might actually snap your shit up. Thanks for watching, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I sure do appreciate every last bit of your time. Peace!